All right, what's going on, guys? Number one, I had COVID. Not a real bad case of COVID, but it knocked me on my butt. Didn't have to go to the hospital or nothing like that. Didn't lose sense of smell or taste or none of that stuff. But it took a lot out of me. So while I was healing up, I came up with some new concepts. So I'm going to start doing these live streams called Bad Business Models because one of the things that I want to put out, one of the things that I want to talk about is real business. So the first episode of Bad Business Models is the ATM machine business. I'm about to pull out my wallet, which incidentally, I opened up another business checking account. So that's for the cash that I had, but I have no cash in my wallet. But what do I have? I've got Delta Business credit card. I've got Truist Business credit card. Got another Delta Business credit card. And once again, I'm showing you what my walking around cards. Another business credit card. Another business credit card. And I do have my personal American Express Platinum. That's what I'm walking around with. I have no cash on me. And let me go ahead and explain something. Like, I don't use, in my opinion, these sketchy ATMs and gas stations. I have never used one of those ATM machines in my life, nor will I. This would be this is kind of my setup. If I have to get cash out of an ATM, I will go to my bank and get cash from that ATM. I'm gonna tell you one of the reasons I do that. Chase ATMs allow you to get $100 bills, and I can withdraw 3,000 off my business checking account and 1,000 off of my um, personal. So I can get $4,000 cash out of a Chase ATM on my accounts. So when I knew, and like I said, just sitting there, I cannot recall a need that I had to have cash. I will tell you, when I was in the car rental business and I had to have cars towed, a lot of tow truck drivers wanted cash. They would not take a credit card. But I was recently seeing some videos talking about getting into the ATM business. It's passive income. And I'm looking at how I conduct my life. Like I said, I've not had cash in my wallet about 3 weeks. It's not a problem for me to now. If I was to go to a trip, if I was to go to London or somewhere like that, I would definitely go to the ATM machine and get me $2,000 cash, and I would let all my credit card companies know that I'm traveling. But I don't think that to spend, and let's go ahead and let's kind of get into the numbers. Um, Polly Robinson. I'm gonna come back to that. But let me let me do something. How much is an ATM? machine. All right, so let's kind of dive into the numbers of why this is a bad business model. Um, so, like I said, I haven't done any of this, but how much is the ATM machine? Seems you can get an ATM machine for 2,500 to $3,000. I would assume this is used. Let's see. Oh, I think this is a brand new one. So you can get a brand new one. Let's kind of go to Craigslist. Let's see. ATM machine. Uh ATM machine for sale. Huh. Let's go to ATM machine for sale. Okay. Here's one, the location. ATM machine location for sale. Location only, $1,000. Uh-huh. This is very interesting. I'm seeing all kinds of stuff up here. So it doesn't really seem like there's that many um ATM machines. ATM machine for sale. All right. So we could safe to say you can get an ATM machine for 1,900 to 3,000 bucks. Um, here's one that's free. Oh, they would put in a free machine to get the location. Like I've literally seen there's a guy who was running YouTube ads about this as a business. And I just don't really see getting in the ATM business. Number one, let's go ahead and talk about location. Where I live, an ATM machine would not work. It would not work around here. All right, so let's go ahead and get in some questions. What's up? Good day. Cash. There are people who are extremely wealthy in this country. That's funny. What's up? I'll jump in here because I own the ATM business. ATM businesses do good in poor neighborhoods where there's lottery and places where drugs are sold. Also, a lot of the ATM machines that have the bank. Headers? What are headers? Headers are owned by people like me and get the bank to sponsor it. What's a header? I don't know what that is. All right, the bank will use you. Yeah, now I would assume Because, the thing is, I was sitting there before I did this thing, and I was like, where would be a good place to put an ATM machine? Strip club. Now, if I own the strip club, you better believe that the strip club owner, would have my own ATM machine in there, because that would be an additional source of revenue. Because um, so I do agree that the ATM machine business will work in poor neighborhoods where people need cash, but I just don't think that's a growth industry. Oh, okay. Heather is with the bank of, yeah. Like, I don't think this is a durable business model for the future, because um, everyone, even in the poor, people are using Cash App, Venmo. I don't think this is a growth business. Like, if you get into one and you can lock down some good locations, but um, that's funny. Don't forget the churches. I have never seen an ATM machine in the church, but it's been a while since I've been to church. Strip club dispensary, and strip clubs normally charge $10 surcharge to take 50%. They don't like to deal with the chargebacks. Wait a minute. How do you get a chargeback on an ATM machine? Is this when someone gets someone's debit card and run a fraudulent deal? How does someone get it? You know, that's like, I didn't. You can get a chargeback from an ATM machine. Like, once again, like, here's my protocols, and I've been like this. I have never ever used an ATM machine at a gas station. I've never, because let's go way, 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 way back to when I was in the storage auction business. What I would do, and this is one of the things, because if you deal with a lot of cash, banks can get a little weird. So if I knew, let's say Thursday, I would go get 5,000. Friday, I would get 5,000. And Saturday, I would get 5,000. So it would give me 15K in cash, because banks get strange when you start pulling out a lot of your own money. So I have developed these protocols of how to get money out the bank, because I was watching this video where this guy, he didn't have the right banking relationships, because he went to a bank, he wanted to close his account. And like, I'm I should be surprised at how many people are not financially sophisticated enough to set up their banking, because he was talking about, like, once again, the banks you use. With Chase, um, I have a login where I can log into my business and my personal checking account, and it's all my accounts are right there, and I can transfer money from my business account to my personal account, from my personal account, no problem. So a lot of people don't have the proper banking protocol set up. Yeah, I don't think the future is going to be good for it. Barbershop hat. I asked the owner what happened to his ATM. He said the guy could never keep enough cash in it. What? See, that's interesting. That's interesting. Matt, is this barbershop in a poor neighborhood? Just curious. People withdraw money. you okay. How did they get away with that? Because every ATM machine has a camera on it. That's crazy. That's crazy. I did not know you could do a chargeback on a debit card. That's crazy. That is crazy, man. Man, it's been a while since I've been in the church, so I can't say. Yeah, because, like, once again, um, there was this guy. It was a brother. He was running ads on YouTube about setting up an ATM business. And this is my thoughts. Once again, let's go ahead and talk about this. Whenever I start a business, I want to make good money. And let's go ahead and put some numbers out there. My expectations, let's talk about my failed car rental business. My expectation was to get this business where it was going to make me 100K a month. That was what I was pushing for. I don't get into business to make an extra $2,000 or $3,000 a month. That does nothing for me if I'm not making six figures from this business. So let's go ahead and talk about how many ATM machines would it take for me to make six figures? Because I have a feeling you're not going to do this with 10 machines. I could be wrong, but I don't think you're going to do it with 10 machines. So let's say we looked up the price of the machine. You're going to need, I'm going to estimate 30, I'm going to say 40 machines. 40 machines. Let's see. The chargebacks is the downside to the business. It's mostly in strip clubs, though. Barber shops and nail salons do horrible. You spend more money installing and keeping filled than profit. See, that's the type of stuff that you don't like. Literally, I've seen this one guy. He was talking about how to get in the ATM business, how it was passive income, and I was just like, I don't have a feeling like real estate trapper. What you just said, the chargebacks. I was completely unaware that you could get a chargeback on. But once again, knowing people, that's very feasible. But I got a question, the real estate trapper. If I wanted to make 100K a month from an ATM business, how many machines would I need? Because I'm thinking 50 to 60. So that's 50 to 60 locations. And how much does a machine hold? How much cash does a machine hold? I had one of those, it was a waste of time. Because we have someone here, he puts out receipts. He actually backs up what he says, the real estate trapper. Because in my mind, once again, I am not the targeted market for an ATM machine business. I am not, because like I said, I use credit cards for everything. And I don't even use my personal credit cards. Like these are the personal credit cards. I got to start rotating these suckers because at the moment I have no utilization on my credit report, none. Uh, Jeff, if each ATM machine made 400 a month, you would need 21 ATM machines. No, 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 no. Jeff Doris, thanks for chiming in. I'm talking about 100K per month. Because once again, I'm already in business. I'm already making money. I don't want to get into a business that's going to take time and attention. And for me, it's got to be worth it. So if I like, how many machines would I need to make 100K a month? You need at least 20 in strip clubs or dispensaries. The other downside is if the dispensary gets raided by the feds, they take the machine. Wait a minute. See, this is what I like talking about people who are in the industry. The real estate trapper told me some stuff that I have never heard. I didn't know you can get chargebacks. I did not know that. Now, this is strange. I do know someone and who's in the drug business, and she has the craziest problems. At one time, she came over to my house with $200,000 cash and said, "Could you hold on to this for me?" I was like, "What?" She said, "I can't put it in the bank." And I'm like, "All righty." So It needs 20. Now that makes 20 because that means that each machine is doing about 5K a month in transactions. That's a Now that's a lot. That's a lot. Man, this is blowing my mind because I did not know that you could do a chargeback on an ATM transaction. Because whenever I go to the ATM, there's a camera right there showing me putting my card into the machine. That's wild. Um, that's crazy. That's crazy. Strip clubs do Thursday through Sunday. I could see that. I could see that. Like I said, that was the first thing that came to my mind that put an ATM machine in a strip club. But once again, if I own the strip club, I would just go out and get my own machine because that would be an additional source of revenue. But like literally people, and I really thank you for chiming in, the real estate trapper. Um, None of the stuff that you mentioned in just this short time that we've been having this conversation has ever come up in these videos. Nothing about chargebacks, nothing about machines getting raided. None of that stuff has ever come up. I know. The average ATM only makes 350 a month. Damn. All right. See, that's kind of why I was thinking I was going to need 50. So based upon what you're telling me, if I wanted to do um 100, let's see, 100,000 divided by 350. I would need 285 machines to make 100K a month. And hold on, 285 times 2,000 because I'm buying in bulk. So I would have to spend half a million. This seems very much like the car rental business. This seems very much like the car rental business because the car rental business was extremely expensive to get into. But like, give you an example. I spend $10,000 on the car, and if the car had full utilization, I could make $1,200 a month, and it would take 9 months for that car to be paid for, and that's when we get into the profit. And that's one of the things that I'm staying away from going forward. I'm staying away from highly high expense ratio businesses. That is crazy, man. That is crazy. 350 a month. Um, who said pimp and dad? OnlyFans management. Uh, that was going to probably be one of the next ones because I was watching this girl. I got a question for you guys. How many of you guys, if you were married, would let your wife do OnlyFans? There's this girl on YouTube, the ER nurse, and she has an OnlyFans page and she's married. And I'm just sitting here like, there ain't no way in hell I would let my girl do OnlyFans or cam. I wouldn't let her do it. I wouldn't let her do it. Banks are not, well, because they make so much money. I don't think they really care. That's crazy. Damn, man. Like once again, I really appreciate the intel on this because literally these people make the ATM machine business sound so easy, so lucrative. That chargeback issue, that's kind of right up there with me with the car rental business. And there was another gentleman we were talking, I had a 30 to 35% damage rate, which was if I had 100 cars, I could expect to have 20 to 35 wrecked at any given time. I did not know that before I got into business because people are reckless. That is crazy that the chargebacks. So I can that's just blowing my mind, man. That is just blowing my mind. Hell no, no. Let me show you. Let's see. Um, let's go here. All right. Uh, I'm gonna show it to you because this kind of blew my mind.
Hey you guys, what's up? I'm that ER nurse.
Um, she is married and she's an ER nurse and she has an OnlyFans page. And I was just like, I know times are tough and people need money, but there's more to this than that. I'm like, because here's the thing. As an ER nurse, I want you to kind of follow me. I used to be in healthcare, and a nurse can make 50, 70, $100 an hour, depending upon their specialty. And it's just like, why would she be doing OnlyFans versus working extra shifts? But once again, I don't know how lucrative the OnlyFans thing is, but that just kind of blew my mind that she was a married woman and she's doing OnlyFans. Feed pit. I'm like, uh, I can tell you as someone who used to fix furniture for the storage auction business, you would have to have a shop and a crew to streamline it. You would have to have volume. I mean, yeah, it's you would need a lot of money invested to make 100,000 a month. Okay. There are not that many ATMs around here. They're at the banks. I've not used an ATM in years. The biggest expense with the ATM is you can only bank with certain banks because ATM business technically isn't legal on the federal level, so the banks charge you extra fees monthly. That's something that kind of blew my mind. When I was setting up one of my business accounts, the guy was going through the options, and this is something they always ask, like how much cash deposits they charge you. This is something I didn't know. They charge you for putting a lot of cash in the bank. That I did know, and that just kind of blew my mind. Aunt Johnson, I would believe that. I would believe that 100%. That's the another part because if me, if I owned if I owned a chain of convenience stores, I would literally go out and get my own ATM machines. You could not, once again, this is just me. I have actually seen the guys load these machines, and it was Loomis, and these guys had guns on them. So I think that's crazy. Well, she talked about that. She doesn't give her real name or location, but um, it's crazy. I use a cash loading service that takes 35 cents per transaction. Dang, man. Because like I said, I've seen so many people talking about the ins and outs. Like you can make all this money with ATM machines. I'll give you another, this will be another one, like the vending machine business. That's going to be another bad business model because here's the thing. I feel that you need to lock down the location before you even buy the machine. Whatever paperwork you need to sign, whatever contract you need to get that first before you even get the machine. Because the location is everything. The machine is just utility. And I would just like find it very hard to lock down, like I could think schools, maybe. Once again, I don't know if you could just go ahead and put an I'm talking about vending machines, but ATM machines, um, none of the nail salons around here have ATM machines. But once again, in this neighborhood, everyone uses credit cards. So they really wouldn't do well in those locations. I gotta agree with that, man. The new fantasy is to get rich and famous just by being pretty online. I gotta agree with that. My mom worked for ATM operations with Bank of America. She says it's the cash flows that the main culprits for theft. I mean, see, this is why we need to have these conversations. And I want to say thank you to the real estate trapper because he put in stuff that I have not heard anybody talking about ATM businesses even mention chargebacks, dealing with the banks. I've not heard any of that stuff. And, when I say it's a bad business model, because going on the information he gave us, if you want to make 3,500 a month top line revenue, that's not net revenue, that's top line revenue, you're going to need 10 machines. You're going to need 20 machines if you wanted to make 7,000 a month. Top line. Maybe you have to do some joint venture deals with some of these locations. I don't know. But I would say before the internet, the ATM machine business was probably pretty good. But with the internet and all of this information and all these people buying into it and all this, I just see in the future it's just going to be really, really bad. It depends upon the location. If you could get, I knew someone who had a vending machine route. Now, this guy got into vending machines a long time ago. He's like 70 years old now, but he had a route with 150 machines and he was doing about 40,000 a month. But he said it took him 12 years to build up that route. What's up? People say they make 2,000. See, I've seen that. I'm going to say I trust a real estate trapper more than I trust someone on YouTube talking about I make 2,000 a month, because 2,000 a month, that's going to be 2,000 divided by 3. That's going to be 666 transactions per month for that machine. Um, in the current environment, in the way that we're moving toward, like I said, I've literally had no cash in my wallet. Now, this is something that I do because I am in Atlanta. I go to the bank and I get a bunch of fives, and I have a bunch of fives in the door of my Porsche, and I have a bunch of fives in the door of my BMW. Why? Valet parking. Now, a lot of them are set up for credit cards, but that's why I have that cash there. All right. Good deal. Good deal. No, I'm not in the Bitcoin. Not with one vending machine. You can make 2,000 a month, but you want like a strip club. A strip club, maybe a barber shop in the hood. It's interesting, since I stopped going to barbershops years ago, I saw a guy who had a really good setup, really, really smart guy. He had an ATM machine, and I used to talk to the guy. He owned the ATM machine in there, and also he had one, two, three, four, five barbershop chairs, and the rest of it, he sold watches. He sold a lot of merchandise. He had showcases, and dude was doing really, really well because he was cutting hair. He had the ATM machine. He had the merchandise, but he was a straight up hustler, pretty much. Yeah, I will not go to a Ninja ATM. I only go to a bank branded ATM. Lynn, I have 5 locations, mostly in older laundromats. I thought laundromats had change machines in there. How do those machines do? Cash App is killing barbershops in the hood. I pulled mine. Like I said, I mean, I just see that in the future, 20, maybe 30 years in the future, no one's going to be using cash. I just see it because I use cash very sporadically. And at the moment, I have no cash in my wallet. And this doesn't impede me, slow me down, or anything. But Cash App, Venmo, I mean, and there's more stuff that's coming up. There's a lot more stuff that's coming up. But I feel in 2023 to get into the ATM machine business is to enter into a dying business. That's my opinion. Apple Pay, there's Apple Pay. Like, this is funny. Let me show y'all some. That's how much Apple Cash I have from using my Apple Card. I haven't figured out how to transfer it to my bank account yet. Um, Anything that makes using and spending money is going to be the way to go in the future. I don't know. It's been a minute since I've been in the laundromat. It's been a minute. All right, all right. I used to watch Rees, the entrepreneur, and most of his stuff failed. He would go out and get these, like the vending machine series. That was hilarious. Average 300 per month, make 1,500 a month roughly off my machines. Once again, the real estate trapper said, average ATM makes 350. So we're this is it. But let's go ahead and talk about where the machines are and who's there. Who uses laundromats? Let me show you something. Uh, that ER nurse cracks me up. Let's see. Washer and dryer. All right. So let's go electric. All right. So a washer and dryer is $900. That's the cheapest one I've seen. So the people who go to a laundromat are the people who don't have the ability to save up 800-900 bucks to buy a washer and dryer for their house. It's all demographically driven. It's all demographically driven. So yeah, I could see an ATM machine in a laundromat making money. I can see that. I can see that. That's wild. I don't think that's going to work. I just spends tens at the laundry. Okay. Once again, I got videos talking about this. When someone can make money from creating content, where the content is helpful or useful, it doesn't matter. Now, we're talking about the underground economy. We got the primary economy where you go to Best Buy or you go to the grocery store. We have the secondary economy, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and then we have the underground economy. There will always be a need for cash in the underground economy. That's never going away. Weed dispensaries. I don't even know. I don't even know the weed laws here in Georgia. I don't even know if weed is legal here. I have no clue. That's the future. My son, the barber, has an app. You can schedule a haircut and pay it. That's the future. That's the future. Um, there's a barber who literally comes to you. He charges way more than the average barber, but he comes to you. He has a barber shop in the van, and he comes to you. Well, 1,500 a month, you'll make your money back in about 7, 8 months, which is pretty good. So that's actually makes sense. That makes sense. But what I feel going forward in the future, these opportunities for ATM placements are just going to get very, very dicey. It's going to be hard to find a place. Awesome, man. Awesome. I mean, here's the thing. When I started going after these people who were putting up what I call garbage, useless bubblegum content, like you could, Rise. I haven't watched Rise in maybe a year, but hey, he's making all his money. Here's the thing: you cannot take someone who is driven, who's pretty um a hustler, a go-getter, and put that out there as, because the thing is, people are looking for stuff that they don't have to work. Kind of going back to this ER nurse. I mean, let me see. Let me let me go in here because unless she's just a freak, and I have a feeling that's a part of it. ER nurse salary. Average salary of an ER nurse in Georgia is $83,000. $83,000. So that's like, I think that's like $40 an hour per hour. 33 bucks per hour. So if she does overtime, she's making 66 time and a half. She does overtime. She's making $50 an hour. So, it was interesting, man. It was interesting. I was just at the laundromat washing comforters. They use cards you can load with cash or credit. Once again, the future, I think it's just going to wipe out a lot of these ATM people. But I own the M&N gym. I use the laundromat to wash things from the gym. I wouldn't dare put in my home machines. Okay. That's cool. Yeah, Investment Joy has a more realistic, because he's working with a lot of low income stuff. Storage units, that was something that was interesting. When I was in the storage auction business, I remember this one storage unit that we went to that a guy had bought and built downtown Atlanta, and it cost him $2 million. 3 years later, he sold it for $6 million. I mean, it was crazy what these places with storage units were going for. Um, get those books written. That's the advice. Get them written. Well, there was this company, Magic. I don't know if it still exists, but you used to be able to buy drugs with them, and you use your credit card. You can't use credit cards in weed dispensaries. I didn't know that. Like, you guys are schooling me. I don't smoke weed. I don't know anything about dispensaries, but that's kind of funny. Now, here's an ideal. If I owned a weed dispensary, this is one of the things I would do. I would set up a credit card for people to buy my weed. I would go ahead, issue them a valid credit card that they could come in and buy my weed and pay me monthly. Um, because you got to take that kind of hit. Once again, that's another low. If you don't have a washer and dryer hookup in your apartment, that's another sign that you live in the low income area. I have never lived in an apartment that didn't have a washer and dryer hookup. So that's usually a really old building. You pay your barber cash. That's funny. Oh no, there are barbers who running around. There's this guy I know. I know of him. I don't know him. He has his barber shop in a Sprinter van. And the last time I saw it, he had two barber shops and he had another guy working with him. He comes to you and he caters to busy executives who, because you got to think, because he doesn't, I think he charges like 40, $50 for a haircut. But if you're in a busy executive that's making like $100 an hour, and for you to leave your office and go wait in the, spend 3 hours, it's worth it. It's just worth it. True. Um, Photography, videographic businesses are booming. They're growth industries. Everything's moving toward video. Everything's moving to video. That's the growth industry. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I don't smoke weed, so I don't know what the law is about that, but that's interesting. Okay. Oh, like when I first saw it, I was just like shocked that she was an ER nurse. And I'm like, there's got to be more to it. There's got to be more to it because she got to be super kinky. I was too cheap to spend the $4 to see what she was working with. But I'm like, there ain't no way in hell I would let my girl do OnlyFans. Is it just no. That's what my whole point is. She can make a lot of money being a nurse. I don't know what that's there's more to it. Hey, knock it out the park, man. Thanks for the $5 super chat. I have no desire to live outside the United States. I have no desire. One of the things is I have created an income that allows me to live very well anywhere in the United States. And I did think about moving to London. And then when I went to London and I looked you think real estate prices are high here? Good Lord. London, they're crazy. You will see people who have Rolls Royces because garages are rare in the city of London. They're very rare. You see Rolls Royces parked on the street. You will see Ferraris parked on the street. Man, security, growth industry, growth industry. Nope. Like, here's one of the things. If I own the dispensary, there's a workaround from that. Like, let me go ahead and give you what I would do. And this kind of goes back to the illegal. All right, so I own the dispensary, and now the government is telling me that I cannot put my cash in the bank. So what I would do is set up a holding company, and then I would have other cash businesses as part of that holding company, and I would just spread that cash out to those other businesses and put it in the bank. It ain't that complicated. It ain't that complicated. It ain't, but see, you got to know the law. And if you have a holding company, and I would pay my taxes, I would pay my taxes on all the money. And it would be like, yeah, the weed business ain't making no money, but all these other businesses are making money. I mean, there's so many things you could do. It's just people don't have imagination. Um, I don't think vending machines are a growth industry. But I got to do some more research on that because it depends on what type of vending machines. Because you know, it depends upon the location. It depends upon the setup. A lot of stuff. Oh, your mama a video hoe? Man, I can see it being crazy. Oh, security is a growth industry. That's going to be one of the things I'm going to do in this series. Security, especially armed security, is going to be a growth industry. Yep, you were way too early. Video is everywhere now. Video is 100% a growth industry. Excuse me. Video is killing it. Video is killing it. All right, man. So I want to appreciate you guys for joining me for this conversation, but I just wanted to put up my viewpoints and thoughts and opinions out here on the ATM machine business. And thanks to the real estate trapper for providing boots on the ground intel. There was a lot of things I did not know, and it just confirmed my suspicions. So you guys have a good day. I will talk to you in the next one.